Okay, what's quiet quitting? What is quiet quitting? Gen Z, is that you? Who's a Gen Zer here? Is ditching hustle culture to avoid burnout. There's like several terms in this that I am going to vaguely guess what they are, but quiet quitting, I'm gonna try to piece together what I think this is. I think this is people who don't want to hustle because hustle culture is like, oh, if you're not working 16 hours a day, then what are you doing with your life? I think this is like people who don't want to work 16 hours a day and are just like normally working. And so that's quiet quitting, also known as working normal hours. What's the chances that that's what we're going to find out? Workers are now quiet quitting or quitting the idea of going above and beyond. He explains how he sees quiet quitting, a term he said he recently learned. You're still performing your duties, but you're no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentality that work has to be your life. The reality is, it's not. It's not. Is anyone like, I don't meet a lot of people who's like married to their work. Like, and it's fine. It's fine if you are. Like me, I used to work at KFC. I was the manager of data. I started the data science program, the data science department at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like, they've never had data science before. So I got paid a lot of fucking money to do that. And I decided to walk away from that job back to baseball. So I went from the Reds as a data scientist to managing a data science department at KFC, building it from scratch, and then coming back to the Reds as a director. In a lot of ways, I took like gigantic pay cuts to come back to the Reds. And it wasn't because of anything other than like I loved what I did at the Reds. Like, I thought I saw a vision there where we could like do something beyond money. And that's like winning a championship, right? So like I'm a part of helping us get to that point. I really like that about my job. And in a lot of ways, I'm married to my work. So I do work outside of the hours. I do work probably more than I need to, or than than people think I need to. And it's simply because I like what I'm doing. And it's not anything other than I just enjoy baseball and coding baseball and watching baseball and looking at, how our players are developing through our baseball. So it's like is very like rewarding for me to see the work that I do get executed on the field, right? It's okay if you are a part of this quote unquote hustle culture. And if that is me, if I'm a victim of hustle culture, that's fine. I don't see it as that though. I see it as like, I just genuinely enjoy what I do. And I expect the people in my department to not do what I do, right? They have set hours, they have set projects. We have like many more days off that we give than other departments in baseball. We have sprints. At the end of every sprint, we have the Friday off, right? Like there's a lot of effort to make sure that there's work-life balance and that we promote it, right? It's not just because I work a bunch of fucking hours that everyone should. It's the opposite. If you want to work for 8 hours and leave and go enjoy the fucking rest of your day, literally all other 16 hours of your day, please do that. Like, don't think that you have to go and be a data scientist for 16 hours a day simply because you see other people doing it. Like, no, that your path isn't everyone else's path. Your path to success, your path to being good or great, your path to being the best version of you is whatever that is for you. And like we write that out. We have development plans for people. We say exactly what their path should be, what projects they should be doing this year, how that's leading to, whether it's some sort of promotion or title changes or raises. Like all these things should get rewarded, written down, and these are the things we commit to, right? And there are absolutely people who decide, I would like to take a week off here or there. I would like to go visit my family. I would like to go take a road. I'd like to take an extra Thursday off and extend this to a 4-day weekend. Please do that. It's good. It's good for you that you believe you should do that. You deserve to do that, in fact. Hustle culture doesn't get you anything but burnout. Hustle culture, if you subscribe to that or ascribe to this thing that you didn't choose yourself, that you think you have to do because everyone else has to do it, and therefore you have to do it to keep pace or whatever the fuck, that, as people are saying in chat, that's a toxic mentality. It's toxic work-life balance, right? Like you are literally stealing from life to enact a toxic work behavior. So, uh, uh, although I might exhibit aspects of working more than I should, I choose to do that. Also, I'm a single guy in Cincinnati, and for fun, I have a literal live stream on a website meant for video game playing. So it's not like I'm really optimizing my life balance as it is by just hanging out on Twitch every fucking day for 6 hours. So yes, you can still perform your duties and be a good employee, and you don't have to do above and beyond kind of shit, and that shouldn't be expected either. He's part of spreading trend that basically he's telling people to take it easy at work, stop taking on added responsibilities outside the role of subscriptions, or work extra hours. Preach. Burnout isn't new. Millennials practically invented the word. But their younger colleagues and some millennials themselves are trying to avoid burnout simply do the job that's asked of them. It's the latest salvo in the pandemic-era tug-of-war between managers and junior colleagues over work-life balance. They're making the hustle culture of the 2010s a distant memory and replacing it with something of a comeback to the Gen X 1990s era of slacker culture. I mean, I get the sentiment. Slacker culture is think of Office Space, right? This was early 2000s, right at the end of the 90s. Where kind of cultivating in the sense of office jobs that are making you do a bunch of mundane, boring ass shit. Rebel. Figure out a way to get back, Get yours at the end of the day, I get that. It inspired a lot of countercultural things, including startup culture, including the entire era of the early .com booms. I'm all for the people who proclaim they're slackers, okay? If that means you're optimizing your work-life balance and you're doing great at work and great at home, slack away, dude. Slack enterprise, baby. Viva la slackers.